The following program is brought to you by Be Connected, Every Australian Online, and Frontier Home Tech Support. Can I help you? Welcome back once again. We are on the Be Connected website. I'm David Cook from Frontier Home Tech Support, and I'm here to tell you about the Be Connected website and some of the topics on there. Today we are looking at what is a computer, and in particular we are looking at part 3, which is what is a keyboard. So let's get into this lesson and find out exactly what a keyboard is. And if this is your first visit to Be Connected, that we're just going through the absolute basics, and on this occasion we are looking at what is a computer. So we'll continue with the activity and move on to the next one, which goes for 6 minutes. So we'll just race our way through it though. This is just giving you a quick look. So now we're looking at what is a keyboard. The keyboard is one of the main ways that you control a computer. In this activity, we're going to look at what a keyboard does and how you can use it to control your computer. You will learn the basic keyboard layout, the spacebar, shift key and caps lock key, as well as punctuation and symbol keys and the enter key. Once you get the hang of all these different buttons, you'll be able to write yourself a little letter on your computer. The main purpose of a keyboard is to type text. If you want to write a letter, search for a website, fill in a form, or do anything that requires entering letters and numbers, the keyboard is how you do it. The keyboard usually sits on the desk in front of the computer screen. Most keyboards connect to a desktop computer with a cable and use the computer's power to work. Having said that, you can get wireless keyboards. Some keyboards can connect to a desktop wirelessly and are powered by batteries. You can type on a keyboard with one finger from each hand, or all the fingers in both hands. It's up to you. And don't worry if you type slowly. Typing letters and numbers accurately is more important than typing them quickly. The basic keyboard layout. The letters on most keyboards are not in alphabetical order. As you might expect, most keyboards show the most commonly used letters near the middle, while the less common letters are around the edges. These are called Qwerty keyboards, after the first 6 letter keys on the keyboard. The next slide shows a diagram of a keyboard with Qwerty keys highlighted. There we go, highlighted in blue there, Qwerty, Qwerty. Number keys, number pad and spacebar. Above the letters are the number keys. On a full-size keyboard, there is usually another set of number keys known as the number pad, located to the right side of the letter keys. You can use either set of keys to type in numbers, depending on which you find more comfortable to use. Below the letters is a long key called the spacebar. You use this to place a space between words. The next slide shows a diagram of a keyboard with the number keys, number pad and spacebar keys highlighted. So let's have a look. There's our numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 0. And also you have your numbers on a number pad over the side here. You only have a number pad on a full-size keyboard. A lot of keyboards, particularly on Smaller computers or laptops don't have the number key on the side here, but this one does. And this big long blue bar here is your space bar. Special keys. Around the edges of the letters, you'll see a number of other keys as well. Some keys are used for adding punctuation. There are several control keys such as Shift, Caps Lock, Backspace and Enter. We'll talk about these keys as we go through this course. The next slide shows a diagram of a keyboard with the special keys highlighted. Here are our special keys, and you'll end up using these more often than what you think. The backspace key, you're going to use that one a lot. The enter key, you'll use that one even more. The shift key, you'll use that a fair bit. And the control and alt keys, notice there's one on this side, a control key, and there's another one on this side here, almost symmetrical. And an alt key here and an alt key there. That's to suit left and right-handed operation because you'll be tapping away, and sometimes the fingers in this hand will be closer to very commonly used keys, and sometimes this one. Because you notice there's also two shift keys as well. There's only one enter key. But there's another enter key over here on the number pad, actually. Typing letters and numbers. To type letters and numbers, you just press the key that has a letter or number you want on it. The next slide shows a diagram of a keyboard with the letter keys highlighted. There we go. There's your numbers across the top, and here's your letters here, starting with QWERTY, Q-W-E-R-T-Y. And your most commonly used letters are in the middle here, and the less common ones are moving over to the sides here. Typing spaces. To add a space between words, press the space bar. It's the long key just below the letters. The next slide shows a diagram of a keyboard with the space bar highlighted. There we are. That's our nice big blue space bar once again. Delete a letter. To delete the last letter you typed, press the backspace key. That's the key at the top right of the main section of the keyboard. The next slide shows a diagram of a keyboard with the backspace key highlighted. There it is, just over there in blue, the backspace key. Typing capital letters. When you press a key, it will usually make a lowercase letter. But what if you want a capital letter instead? There are two ways to make a capital letter. Shift key. To make a capital letter, hold down the Shift key with one finger as you press the letter key with a number. There are Shift keys on the bottom left and the bottom right of the keyboard. Any letter you press while holding the Shift key will type as a capital. The next slide shows a diagram of a keyboard with the Shift keys highlighted. There is one there, and there is one there. Now, on the left-hand side, you will also see the Caps Lock key. You can also put that down. You press on it once, and a light will light up over here, indicating that your computer is in Caps Lock mode. When it's in Caps Lock mode, it will type everything in capitals. You can use a Caps Lock key to make a capital letter too. You don't have to hold it down, just press it once. Any letters you type afterwards will be capitals. To return to lowercase letters, press a Caps Lock key again. The next slide shows a diagram of a keyboard with the Caps Lock key highlighted. That makes it a lot easier to show you where it is. So just above the Shift key here is the Caps Lock key. Typing symbols and punctuation. Let's look at how you type punctuation and symbols, such as a full stop, exclamation mark, or a dollar sign. Some keys show punctuation marks on the bottom half of the key. For example, the key to the right of the M key has a comma, and the key to the right of that has a full stop. Press those keys to enter punctuation. The next slide shows a diagram of a keyboard with some punctuation symbol keys highlighted. So we've got one up the top here. We've got a couple over here. And there's our parentheses or brackets, colons, forward arrows, back arrows. But here's one you use fairly frequently. This is the question mark. More punctuation and symbol keys. Some number keys show punctuation marks and symbols on the top half of the key. For example, the 1 key has an exclamation mark above it, and the 4 key has a $sign. To enter the mark or symbol on the top half of a key, hold down the Shift key while pressing the key. For example, to type an exclamation mark, you should hold down Shift while pressing 1. To type a $sign, you should hold down Shift while pressing 4. The next slide shows a diagram of a keyboard with the number keys highlighted. There we go. Starting a new line. When you have finished typing and want to start a new line, press the Enter key. The Enter key is on the right side of the keyboard. The next slide shows a diagram of a keyboard with the Enter key highlighted. So this is one key you'll be pressing quite frequently each time you want to start a new line. Congratulations, well done. You've reached the end of the activity. What is a keyboard? The computer keyboard may seem complicated, but its design is actually based around typewriters that have been used for more than 100 years. Once you get some practice, you'll find that you have no trouble typing capitals, entering symbols, or quickly tapping out letters and emails on a keyboard. Next up, we look at the other way you can control a computer in What is a Mouse activity. Hello and welcome back. We are on the Be Connected website. I'm David Cook from Frontier Home Tech Support, and today we are looking at the course, What is a Computer? And we are looking at the final topic in this course, which is what is a mouse? So here we are, we're back to our main menu. And now we'll move on down to our final activity, which is what is a mouse? In this activity, we're going to look at another important tool for helping control what you do on a desktop computer, the mouse. You will learn how to hold a mouse, move a pointer or cursor, and how to use the left and right mouse buttons to click. What is a mouse? The mouse is a small movable device that lets you control a range of things on a computer. Most types of mouse have 2 buttons, and some will have a wheel in between the buttons. Most types of mouse connect to the computer with a cable and use the computer's power to work. See this mouse here? It will be plugging into the back of this all-in-one computer. Some types of mouse are wireless. That means they do not connect to a computer with a cable. These types of mouse need batteries to run. Where does the mouse go? The mouse usually sits on the desk to the left or right of the keyboard. If you write with your left hand, you should have the mouse to the left of the keyboard. If you write with your right hand, have the mouse to the right of the keyboard. Or basically, when you start learning to use your computer, you'll work out what comes more naturally. What a mouse does. A mouse is used to point at objects you see on the screen. By pointing at an object, you tell the computer that you want to do something with that object. For example, say you wanted to start a program. There's a small picture called an icon on the computer screen that represents that program. You would use the mouse to point at the icon and click a button on the mouse. This tells the computer to launch the program. What is a cursor? The mouse pointer or cursor represents the mouse on the computer screen. When you move the mouse across the top of a table, the cursor moves on the computer screen in the same direction. The cursor usually looks like an arrow, but you can change shape depending on what you are pointing at. It's good to note that it's the very tip of the arrow that is the sensitive part when clicking something on the screen. So it is good to note that it's the very tip of the arrow that is the sensitive part when clicking something on the screen. The cursor may look like a hand when you point at a link or a link to a web page. It's the tip of the finger that is the sensitive or important part when clicking something on the screen. So if you can just look on the screen here, there's a link to actually save this image. And when I put my cursor over it, the arrow turns into a clickable hand from there and there. I'm not going to click on the link, but I just thought I would show you how the cursor changes when you hover your mouse over it. Or it may look like a capital I when you hover over text or place where text can be inserted. This cursor shape is often called the I-beam cursor. I've never called it that. If the I-beam cursor is over a place that you can insert text, then you first have to click the mouse once so that a single vertical bar appears to allow typing. The vertical bar will flash to let you know that you can begin typing. So basically, wherever your cursor is, if you're typing a letter, this I-beam, as it's called here, will be flickering off and on or flashing off and on. That shows you where your letters will go when you start typing. Holding a mouse. You hold the mouse under the palm of your hand with the mouse flat on the desk or on a mouse pad. A mouse pad is the mat that can improve how your mouse works. Try resting your palm lightly on the desk or mouse pad with the rest of your hand over the mouse. There are usually two buttons at the front of the mouse, and these are called the mouse buttons. You can lightly rest your index finger on the left mouse button and your middle finger on the right button. How to move the mouse. To move the mouse, gently glide it across the desk or mouse pad. It needs to stay in contact with the surface so that the sensors on the bottom of the mouse can detect its movements. On the screen, you will see that the cursor moves in the same direction that you move the mouse. How to click with the mouse. Most mice have two buttons, and many also have a wheel in between the buttons. These help you control a range of things on your computer. The left mouse button is the main mouse control. It makes a click sound when you press it. When you need to click something or move the mouse pointer to the object, you need to click and then press the left mouse button. Whenever you read or someone says click the mouse, it always means the left mouse button. The right mouse button has special purpose. What it does depends on what you're clicking on. For example, pressing the right mouse button on any icon may bring up a menu of options. These options always relate to whatever item you you have right-clicked on. For example, right-clicking on an icon or a small image that represents something will normally bring up a menu of options that you can do with that icon and what that icon represents. So I have a little rule when it comes to clicking the buttons on your mouse, and that is left click for actions, right click for options. So just to show you now, I'm going to move my mouse pointer over this image of the mouse here, and I'm going to right click on it, because when I right click on it, it will bring up a list of things that I can do just with this particular image. So as you can see here, I can open the image in a new tab, save the image, copy the image address because it's actually saved on a website, or I can search Google for the image. Now that's a very useful option, and there's more options down here, but the ones up the top here are the top typical options. So right click for options, and now that we have our options, I can left click, and that is my action. So if I left click on here, it will copy the image address. We're not going to do that now. I just thought I'd show you the difference between a right click and a left click. For example, if I right click here on the screen here, the options are different. I can go back, I can go forward. Well, I actually can't go forward, it's not highlighted because we haven't been that far ahead yet. I can reload the page, or I can save it or print it, or I can actually cast it somewhere, send it to your devices, or even translate it if it was in another language. So, and once I decide what I want to do, I can choose my action by left clicking on the item I have selected. So right click for options, left click for actions. There's a special action called the double click. It is often used to start a program or open a file, such as a photo, video, or document. Double click means to click the left button twice, quickly. And probably the best way to explain that is you have to do it quickly, but the first click tells the computer what you want to open, and the second click confirms and says, yes, open it. So you got to do it quickly. So click, click. And it's important when you do it not to move the cursor. Otherwise, it thinks you're doing two different actions and you won't get your program open. The wheel between the buttons is used for scrolling. If you're looking at a document that doesn't fit on the screen, then moving the scroll wheel forward or backward with your finger will move the document up and down. There we go. I'm just scrolling on my wheel on my mouse, and it's moving the screen up and down as far as it will go. Launching a program. Now that you know how to move and click the mouse, let's see how a mouse can be used to start or launch a computer program. Click Continue to watch the video on the next screen. Launching a program. Okay, let's have a look at this.
Programs on the computer are represented by small pictures on the screen, called icons. To start the program, you move the cursor to it and double-click. That means to click twice quickly on the left mouse button. The program will start. If it doesn't, try another quick double-click. There's another way to start a program as well. Many of the apps on your computer might be placed in the Windows folder. Click on the Windows button on the bottom left of the screen to see a menu of those programs. Find the name of the program you want to open and click on it. The program will open. Easy.
I must apologise there, I didn't have the video on full screen, so we had the actual video controls covering some of the instructions. So I hope you actually got to see the menu item at the bottom towards the end of that little video. But it did actually show you how to launch a program just by left clicking with your mouse. Congratulations, well done. You've reached the end of the activity, What is a Mouse? In this activity, we have talked about what a mouse does and how it connects to a desktop computer, how to hold the mouse and move the mouse, how to click the mouse buttons. If you have registered or are logged into the Be Connected website, you are now able to take a short quiz to finish the course. Actually, we haven't logged in because we're just having a quick look at the moment just to show you some of the activities that are available on the Be Connected website. So I hope you found that informative, and I hope you enjoyed our little tour of what is a computer. There we go. We have now covered the activity, What is a Computer? And I hope you did find it interesting, and I hope you did learn all about what a computer is, what is a screen, what is a keyboard, and what is a mouse. So just keep an eye out for the next episode. We're going to look at what is a laptop, and also what is a tablet, and so many other things. So just keep an eye out for the next episode of Home Tech TV. So now you know what a computer is. Thanks for joining me as I shared with you the course, What is a Computer, on the Be Connected website. Stay tuned for further episodes when we look at things like what is a laptop, what is a tablet, and what is a smartphone. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.